Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a very special video, and this one is there has been a leak on the black market tanks, and I have figured out which tanks they're going to be selling in the black market. If you don't know what the black market is, they're selling tanks for auction and stuff like that. And they just do it over the course of like a week or so. And yeah, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so unfortunately I missed the first auction giveaway, which was the TL1 LPC. It was on auction for 3 million credits, I believe. And that's just basically a standard American tier 8 premium medium tank. But if you missed that, don't worry, there is still 17 more deals that you can get your hands on. And I'm not quite sure which one of these ones comes first or what order they're in or how much they cost. I just know what is going on sale. And so you might be asking, why is there a Progetto 46 round playing in the background? And yes, it is true. The legendary Progetto 46 is coming back into World of Tanks through the black market. So the Progetto 46 is a tier 8 auto-reloading medium tank, good mobility, okay armor, definitely a pretty solid tank, if not a great tank overall. A lot of people love this tank. It's a pretty fun one to play, and yeah, if you want to get your hands on that, make sure that you're keeping an eye on the black market and that you can get your hands on it when it comes around. So if you guys don't know, some of them are auctioned off, and I'm pretty sure some of them are buy now. So some of them have a set price, and some of them you auction off, like the TL1 LPC. Whoever bid the most credits, and they sold 3,000 of them. So the 3,000 people that bid the most got the TL1 LPC for how much they bid. So if you want the Progetto 46, I know they can sell them for gold and credits and possibly bonds. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, go ahead, and if you want this, keep an eye on the black market. I know that there's one at 11 p.m. tonight, but yeah, keep an eye on that. And if you want the Progetto 46, this one's probably going to be a pretty high bidder, but make sure that you keep your eye on that if you're going to want the Progetto 46. Okay, next we have the 50 TP prototype. This is a Polish tier 8 heavy tank. It looks pretty nice, and it has some amazing frontal armor. It has good alpha at 440 damage, decent mobility with 15 specific power and 35 top speed, and not bad pen, but not great pen. Its accuracy is a little bit lackluster, but if you look at its armor, that makes up for most of it. Definitely a pretty solid tank. And yeah, if this one interests you, make sure that you keep an eye on the black market. That's if I say that a lot in this video, that's just because if you want this, you need to make sure that you are on World of Tanks at that certain time. And by the way, guys, the way you navigate to the black market is you go into World of Tanks, you go to store, and it's the first one, and you should be able to see them all from there. Okay, and next we have, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Bertogney Panther. So this is basically a tier 7 Panther, which is, the Panther is tier 7, so no surprise there. But it's basically a light tank Panther, actually pretty similar armor to the Panther, but a lot faster, and a okay gun. People thought this was going to be one of the tanks that they were entering into the super test to be given away for a certain event. I don't quite remember what event it was, but it's pretty fast, 22 power to weight ratio and 55 top speed. By the way, guys, power to weight ratio is how fast you accelerate, so it's very important for your tank. Kind of bad DPM, okay penetration for a light tank, decent, actually that's pretty good, some pretty good accuracy with only 1.53 a second aim time, and it also is a very hefty tank with it weighing 38,000 pounds, so you're going to be able to ram some other light tanks very destructively, and it comes with 1,000 health, so you can keep taking the hits for a little while. Next, we have the SKODA T27, which is a tier 8 Czechoslovakian auto-reloading medium tank, and I do wish that this one is on the tech tree instead of the TVP, because it does have that autoloader where you can burst people out with only 1.8 second reload time, good mobility, bad armor, but also has a decent slug of hit points, so that bad armor, it's not as bad as it could be. But make sure, if you want a little bursty autoloader and an auto-reloader isn't really your style, this one is definitely for you. It's one of the only tier 8 tanks that you can use to zip around and burst your opponents out really fast. This next one is one that's having been talked about for a while. It is the WZ111 Quillen. So this is actually just a regular WZ111, which is a Chinese Tier 8 heavy tank. Very solid frontal armor, good alpha, and it's not the slowest either. If it sounds like your style, go ahead and pick that one up. But it also comes with the amazing Quillen skin, and every time you fire it, actually fire pours out of the gun. A very cool animation that they added to that tank. But if that seems like something you'd like, go ahead and check that one out. It should be popping up in the black market in the next week. Okay, so one of these is actually not a tank, it is a style, just like the WZ111, except it is just the style by itself. And it is for the E50M, which is a heavy German Tier 10 medium tank. It's a pretty cool looking style. If you want to check that out, make sure that you're staying tuned on the black market. I know you're probably getting tired of me saying that, but just so you know, you need to be very dedicated on checking the black market every day and saving up those credits and gold and bonds and whatever you need so that you can get the exact thing you want. Okay, so the next tank we have is the Samoa SM. This is a Tier 8 French heavy tank. It's actually very nice. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's got some decent armor on the whole and mediocre turret armor. But the main feature of this tank is a 5-round autoloader that does 300 damage a shot with 232 penetration. This is a very solid tank if you just want to sit back and totally demolish your enemies with your amazing gun. This tank can deal lots of damage over time. And is definitely one you're going to want to pick up if you just like sitting back and destroying your enemies. And don't you worry, all you seal clubbers out there, the Cromwell B is coming back to the, I'm not sure if it's coming back to the black market, but it is coming back to the game through the black market. It's basically the Cromwell, except it's a bit more mobile with a little bit worse gun handling. But I know a lot of people like to spam APCR in this little tank. It doesn't really have that much armor at all. It's basically like a light tank that's a bit larger and has a better, some better hit points. It's actually a very, very solid tank. And it comes with the Berlin skin if you want to go check that out. Make sure that you stay tuned. Okay, so the next tank is also a Tier 6. It is the Bertogney Panther. And this one is actually not that great of a deal unless you just like a Panther at Tier 6. Kind of neat. And then it has a good pen with decent DPM. So if you just want to sit back and shoot people and then have the mobility to go in, I guess you can pick this one up. But yeah, it's definitely not my kind of style of tank. So if you were looking to pick up the M54 Renegade, which is an American heavy with decent speed, a decent gun, and then some very nice armor, well, it'll be appearing in the black market pretty soon. You can go and check it out on TanksGG. By the way, guys, all of these tanks that I'm reviewing, well, not reviewing, but telling you what is going to be in this video, well, in the black market, it's going to be in the description below, so make sure you go check that out and click the TanksGG links, and that'll lead you to a really fast breakdown and really in-depth breakdown of every one of these tanks, and you can go and see the information for yourself. So the black market this year is seeing its fair share of autoloaders, and it is also seeing the IS-3A, which is not actually an autoloader, it is an auto-reloading Russian heavy tank. And that just sounds a little odd, which it's basically a heavy Progetto 46. If that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and check out the black market when it comes out, and you can probably pick yourself up one if you have the correct resources. Okay, so the next tank that is going to be in the black market is the IS-2 Shielded. So this is an apocalyptic looking tank that came out in the Road to Berlin mode. It's basically an IS-2, so it basically has a big alpha gun, decent armor, decent mobility, and then it also has these spacer shields that'll protect you from most HE rounds that are fired at you. And yeah, it's a pretty useful tank if you like your ISs. I know there's like 15 or something of them at Tier 7. But yeah, if that's interesting to you, go ahead and pick this one up. And so all you who are hoping that the AMX50 Foch 155 was in the black market, well, it is. I know this one is very popular for everybody who loves their auto-loading tank destroyers. It is a speedy tank destroyer that can burst out 2,250 damage in 5 seconds with its 3 clips. It's basically, well, it's 3 shells in its clip. They each do 750 damage each. And then this tank also has some pretty decent armor. If people are firing at you and you're using your gun depression, it has some very, very solid armor. So this gun is basically like the Warfare Tracker gun E100. So if that is an interesting tank to you, go ahead and get this one. This one's probably going to be very, very popular. So you're going to need a lot of credits and gold and stuff if you're going to want a chance to get this one. In Seal Clubbers, we did not end with the Cromwell B. We are going to get another Seal Clubbing tank, the A32, which is basically similar to the A40, except it is a tier lower, I believe. Very, very fast, 70 top speed, a very spammy gun, 4-second reload, and 110 damage a shot. But then armor is pretty much non-existent, but this is definitely one you want to pick up if you love clubbing new players, because it's going to be in the game pretty soon. It's only been sold a couple times before, so if this one is interesting to you, go ahead and check that one out. Okay, so yet another quite popular Russian tank. It is the T22 Medium, which was receiving buffs, I believe, and it is going to be in the black market this year. Very fast, good armor, and then decent DPM with some decent pen. It's definitely a tank you want to pick up if you love your Russian mediums. And for all you British heavy tank destroyer lovers out there, don't worry, the Turtle MK1 is also coming back with its 3000 DPM gun at tier 8, decent speed and insane armor. Don't worry, you can go ahead and check this one out. This one's actually a very, very good tank if you want to go ahead and try and get it. Very solid armor, amazing gun, and it's not actually that slow compared to its counterparts on the British heavy tank destroyer tech tree. Okay, why not finish it off with a little classic, the M10 RBFM, which is basically a Wolverine that with a super spammy gun, 2,300 DPM at tier 5, okay armor, and yeah, if you love sitting back and sniping new players, this is definitely the tank for you. And that's it for this video, guys. Go ahead and check out the description below, and you should find links to all the tanks that I mentioned in this video. And if you click that link, it'll take you to this page where you can look at all the different stats and compare it of the tank and compare it to other tanks. It's a really nice website. I've been using it for all my information. Thank you so much for watching. If you want a place where you can come and see all the new things to World of Tanks and all the leaks, come and check out my channel, and we'll see you next time.